You know, I'm not making these videos for someone to agree with me. I'm making these videos so that people might believe and know the truth and be free. Because as Jesus said in John chapter 8, verses 31 through 36, if you are truly my disciples, you will continue in my word and my sayings, my teachings. And if you do continue in my word, he says, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. And the Jews thought he was talking about servitude to man. We've never been in servitude to man. And Jesus said, he who commits sin is the servant of sin. And a servant doesn't remain in the house forever, but a son does. King James rendered it the son, but he's making a contrast between a servant and a son, just as Paul is in Galatians chapter 4. And he says, in verse 36 of John chapter 8, he says, and whoever the Son shall make free shall be free indeed. And when you're free, you're free. As Paul said in Romans chapter 6, know you not to whom you yield yourselves servants to obey, the servants you are to whom you obey, whether of sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness. And as Paul said in Romans 8:10, if Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but our spirit is alive because of righteousness. I mean, this is what brought death, was man's disobedience to God and eating of the tree, and the shame of his nakedness being exposed, in his conscience letting fear come in, and they hid themselves from the presence of God amongst the trees of the garden. And this is what Paul is getting at in 2 Corinthians 5, that we who are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, desiring to be clothed with our home, which is from heaven. If so be clothed upon, we are not found naked. For we want to be clothed upon and not unclothed. That's what he's saying in 1 Corinthians 15, that corruption doesn't inherit in corruption. In verse 36, the body we sow isn't given life unless it dies. Our spiritual worship, he describes in Romans 12, that we're sacrificing the will and desire of the flesh to God as our spiritual worship to God. And as we do, the will of God is revealed from faith unto faith, as he describes in Romans chapter 1, verses 17, the just shall live by faith. Amen. Amen.